In the quiet, suburban neighborhoods on the outskirts of capital city, not far from the old decaying factories and forgotten railways, an eerie legend had been whispered for generations. It was known as the Midnight Hum, a sinister anomaly that allegedly occurred at precisely 3:07 a.m. on nights when the moon was in its waning phase. Jenna had just moved into one of these neighborhoods, seeking an escape from the noise and chaos of city life. Her new home was old but charming, with its large porch and creaky wooden floors. During her first week, she heard locals warn about the legend. "It's the hum," her neighbor Mr. Parsley had said, his eyes darting cautiously as though expecting to hear it at any moment. "If you hear it, pray you sleep through it." Jenna dismissed it as folklore until she began experiencing restless evenings. By the end of her third week in the house, she awoke one night, shivering beneath her quilt, yet covered in a sheen of sweat. She glanced at the clock glowing dimly on her nightstand. It read 3:06 a.m. The quiet was oppressive and unnerving. Seconds turned into felt hours, as Jenna lay frozen, anxiously anticipating what might follow. She had almost convinced herself that nothing would happen when suddenly the air around her seemed to thicken, and a vibrating hum, like the drone of 1,000 distant insects, began to reverberate through her room. The hum was rhythmic yet otherworldly, penetrating and primal. Jenna was paralyzed, unable to move, the hum growing louder, enveloping her body in vibrations. She strained to remember her neighbor's warning, but found herself drifting into unconsciousness. The morning light seemed unusually weak when Jenna awoke. She felt heavy, and her limbs ached as though she had spent the night running a marathon. As she sat up, she noticed a series of tender bruises marked along her arms and shoulders, striking against her pale skin like ink. The marks were identical to those described by victims of the Midnight Hum in whispered tales among the villagers. An urgent curiosity rose within Jenna, tinged by an undeniable fear. How could mere sound leave such physical evidence? The following nights were no different. Jenna resolved to investigate. She learned from the local librarian, Mrs. Wilkins, that the legend dated back over a century, to when the town had seen prosperous times and factory workers reported more sinister happenings than mere bruises. "People sometimes lost days," Mrs. Wilkins stated solemnly, her eyes partially hidden behind spectacles reflecting hardbound books, as if they vanished into the hum itself before returning changed, bruised, yes, but also altered. Jenna pondered these stories until she devised a plan. She intended to record the midnight phenomenon, capturing evidence to decipher its source. But her bravado faltered as the decisive night arrived. Slumber came heavily that night, and 3:07 approached all too soon. A sound recorder lay beside her, ticking like a small heartbeat. Jenna waited, feeling the familiar dread settle in. As the hum commenced, louder this time, Jenna could swear she felt a hand, or an amorphous touch, along her skin. It neither pushed nor comforted, but seemed to take measure of her soul. Upon awaking, the recorder revealed static and barely discernible threads of sound, echoes perhaps of her fear. The bruises were gone, but she felt an uncanny sense of alienation, a feeling that the hum had imprinted upon her something much deeper.